Imagine two professionals. They share the same degree, starting salary, and work in the same city. 20 years later, one has built a multi-million-dollar portfolio, while the other struggles to keep their checking account above zero. This divergence suggests that the numbers in a bank account are trailing indicators. Much like the fruit on a tree, the visible yield depends entirely on a complex system hidden beneath the soil. This hidden system is the money blueprint, a subconscious cognitive algorithm that functions as a financial thermostat. If your internal setting is calibrated for a $50,000 annual income, your subconscious will instinctively regulate your behavior back to that baseline, even if you receive a sudden market windfall. When this internal setting remains low, chasing new jobs or investments rarely produces a different result. The mind will continue to pull the individual back to their established financial comfort zone. When external economic variables like education and starting salary are neutralized, the primary point of failure shifts from the market to the individual's behavioral and cognitive framework. This framework is coded during childhood through 3 vectors, starting with verbal programming. Hearing repeated scarcity phrases like "money doesn't grow on trees" trains the brain to categorize wealth as something restricted and difficult to access. The second vector is behavioral modeling. The brain utilizes monkey see, monkey do heuristics, adopting parental financial anxieties or impulsive spending habits as its default operational mode. This mechanism of inherited behavior is a cornerstone of modern financial thought. Research from leaders like Robert Kiyosaki illustrates how the habits of influential role models dictate an individual's lifelong financial literacy. Finally, specific incidents create lasting neural links. High-stress emotional events, such as family arguments over debt, can cause the brain to associate capital accumulation with pain or social conflict. While this childhood code is often outdated, it is possible to replace these scripts using 17 specific heuristic protocols. The first protocol requires shifting the locus of control. The wealthy operate on the principle that they create their own life, whereas a victim mindset assumes life happens to them. Blaming external factors or complaining about the economy forces the focus onto obstacles, effectively pushing wealth away. This agency determines how one plays the economic game. A scarcity mindset focuses on threat avoidance, playing not to lose. An abundance mindset focuses on expansion and calculated risk, playing to win. Playing not to lose is often a reaction to illusory fears. Mark Twain famously observed that he had suffered thousands of problems in his life, most of which never actually happened. Overcoming these fears requires more than passive wanting. It demands intrinsic commitment, a decision that removes failure as an acceptable outcome and accepts the sacrifices necessary to reach the goal. This chart explains problem sizing. The red problem bar remains constant. Successful individuals scale up their own capacity, the blue bar, to neutralize the challenge. This growth comes from action. The wealthy act despite fear, using it as a signal for growth. Capital flows toward individuals who take absolute responsibility and routinely expand their capacity for discomfort. Income is mathematically tied to the scale of value delivered to the market. Thinking small focuses on survival and comfort, which limits that value. Thinking big stretches the vision to solve problems for thousands or millions. This scale of vision dictates your cognitive filters. A scarcity mindset scans for obstacles and reasons to hesitate, while an abundance mindset scans for structural opportunities and creative solutions. These restrictive filters often create the either-or fallacy, the belief that you must choose between financial success and personal happiness. This visualization shows the difference. The first chart treats wealth as a fixed pie, where one slice must be sacrificed for another. The second chart uses a both heuristic to expand the entire area, using leverage to integrate wealth, happiness, and family. In this framework, wealth is an expandable output, driven by the scale of the individual's vision. Wealth resentment creates a psychological barrier. It is impossible to achieve a status that you subconsciously demonize or associate with greed. To counter this, leverage the concept of social contagion. Associating with high-growth individuals like Warren Buffett recalibrates your baseline behavioral norms. Observing the operational scale of ultra-successful thinkers like Elon Musk alters your perception of what is possible, replacing small-scale goals with ambitious vision. Once the vision is set, you must project value. If a product or skill has genuine worth, refusing to promote it out of fear of rejection is a disservice to the market. The economic circuit is completed through receiving. Feelings of unworthiness block the flow of capital, so the wealthy train themselves to be unapologetic receivers, balancing the value they give with the rewards they accept. Accumulating capital requires a frictionless circuit, associating with achievers, confidently projecting value, and openly receiving the returns. The hourly wage is a mathematical trap. This graph shows input-based economics hitting a hard ceiling because time is finite. Contrast this with results-based economics. Value delivered scales without time constraints, funneling revenue into an asset pool generating passive income. This shifts the focus to net worth, the true scoreboard of wealth. It is built on 4 pillars: income, savings, investments, and the simplification of your lifestyle to maximize capital retention. Managing this capital requires a system. While the poor avoid financial tracking due to anxiety, the wealthy use multi-account allocation to ensure every dollar is directed toward growth or necessities. This systematic approach leads to capital leverage, the transition from trading labor for money to forcing accumulated capital to work autonomously through investments. Financial independence occurs when the yield from these passive assets surpasses the costs of your lifestyle. A fixed mindset views formal education as the endpoint of growth. A growth mindset treats the mind as the primary asset that must be continuously developed. Historically, an individual's income rarely exceeds their level of personal and psychological development. The ultra-wealthy, such as Bill Gates, view themselves as perpetual students, consistently investing capital back into their own cognitive frameworks to stay ahead of changing markets. Accumulated wealth acts as a byproduct of a mind that continues to expand its operational capacity. The 17 protocols treat wealth as the mathematical output of a specific cognitive operating system. Knowing your money blueprint exists is not enough to change it. Shifting your results requires adjusting the behavioral thermostat through consistent daily reconditioning. Improving the visible fruits of your financial life requires a decision to nurture the invisible roots. Audit your subconscious blueprint today. Discard zero-sum thinking and apply these exponential heuristics to your professional life to begin building lasting wealth.